Hello everyone, this is Michelle at Shelby Creations. I know it's been a while since I've been on, but there's been a lot of moving around at the house and it's taken a lot to get it done. Anyway, I'm back today and I found out that my next door neighbor's mom and dad will be celebrating their 57th anniversary come September. And I thought I would make them a memory album and maybe you'd like to come along for the ride. Excuse me. We've had a lot of rain here lately. It sort of got to me. What I did is I went ahead and cut my chipboard. These are fairly thick pieces, as you can see. And I didn't really think you'd want to watch me cut chipboard. So I went ahead and did that. I've got my spine, which is 2-inch, and my front and back covers, which standard size for me is 5x7. Yeah, they're nice little memory albums. And I figured today we could at least get them covered and go on from there. What I have here is the 6-inch double-sided sticky tape from scrapbook.com. This stuff is a lifesaver, believe me. Roll out a piece, and I'm going to try and line this up on one edge. Keep my fingers crossed. Oh, not quite to the edge. May have fun, move it down a little bit. Got everything in my way this morning. It's still early here. Just a little past 5. But I was thinking about this on my route this morning. I thought this would be a perfect gift for them. Now, find my mat. What do I do with my cup? Way over here. And all I'm going to do is cut these pieces off as I do them. Missing my knife. Well, I got a spare. Thought I had a spare in my drawer. Okay, here we go. This will do. I'll come right along the side of that chipboard and cut through there and then continue it on the other side. Doesn't matter if it's straight on that side. Set this one over and then pull out a little bit more. Stick my fingers to everything this morning. Well, that's going to give me a wrinkle if I do it that way. So that side down there, and flatten it out. Ta-da! I know I could probably cut on my mat, but it's still fairly new. Try to keep it in good condition. Oh, can't do it that way. So I'm going to come down here, cut up, and then right along. I know, I can't cut a straight line. I'll just come down here and trim these up and we will be done with getting the sticky stuff on it. At least on one side. I'm not going to throw those away because I'm going to use those on the spine. But these little pieces, put that one over there. And I got that pretty much straight. Come down along that edge, trim that off. Do the same to the other one. Cut that off, set that aside. Get it off my fingers. And trim this edge off. Mainly because I can see where I did my last spine. Now, before I go, I'll set those aside. I'm going to take these two pieces that I trimmed off and I'm going to stick them right here on my spine. Now, I'm not worried if they overlap because, turn around where I can see it, I found out that practically nothing will stick to this lining paper. I take my little card here and burnish down those really good. One thing I found out, when you're burnishing tape, or when you're using tape, it's really good to burnish them down, especially washi tape. I would get it curling up and it wouldn't stick, but then when I started burnishing it down, it stays pretty good. That one all down. Do the same, get in line here, and just go over it. I'm pressing quite firmly here. There we go. Put that back where it belongs. Now, I only did it to one side because I still have to wrap these. The next thing I want to do is I want to put tape on the back side here, but I have to wait. That's not next. I mistook. What I need is a sheet of my paper here. These are, I think it's 11 by 17. See, it's really quite huge. When my daughter, my oldest one, was teaching art when we lived in Florida, she taught, I think, through the Y. Before she moved, and she would buy a lot of supplies on her own, but before we moved, she left a lot of art stuff with me. She moved from Florida to Denver. So I was blessed with all this paper that I didn't know what I was going to do with. Tell the truth, I didn't even realize there was paper at the bottom of the bin. But it was this huge bin. And then when I left Florida, moved up here, took care of my mom, and through the whole process that life deals us, I ended up with these bins of art stuff. Started looking through it. There were teaching boxes of crayons and markers, and there was construction paper and shapes and just oodles and oodles of stuff. Well, some I kept, some I passed along. Make sure I've got plenty, because what I'm going to do is this is the side I'm going to pull in. But in the very bottom, I gotta see if I can get the paper off, was this paper. And I didn't realize it till as we were moving, it doesn't want to come off, from my son and his wife wanting to go from their bedroom to and use the back bedroom that they used as my workroom, because it has a big walk-in closet. We had to go through everything because we were using that room as storage at the time. I think I want that big of a thing on it. I'm going to set that one there, and I'll trim around this. So there's one. Pull in the other one. And the paper that I found in the bottom of this bin, and there was a chunk of it. It's like that much. There's some 8.5 by 11, but there was quite a bit of these big, large sheets. But it had all aged and yellowed, and this does not want to come off. And it was beautiful paper, especially for junk journals and doing the covers like this, because I usually copy dye my papers, but I didn't have to with this. This has been like a treasure trove. Alright, got it, I think. Yep. I probably could have used my pokey tool on this, but I didn't want to poke my corners on the chipboard and then have it, give me a funky looking corner. Grab my card again and burnish it down. Now I'm using this double-sized sticky tape or sheet or whatever, so that I don't have the wrinkles that usually comes with a wet glue. Although, I must say, you don't usually get wrinkles if you use Fabri-Tac. But the regular white glues, it does tend to wrinkle because it is a water-based glue. Now, we want to just trim around the edges, and that's going to be fairly simple too. We're going to come back with our craft knife. And somewhere I have my ruler, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay my ruler down there and come in with my craft knife, and I'm going to cut this way because I really only need like an inch edge around there. That would be plenty. And then right like that. Oops, it didn't come out. Well, I'm gonna wing it. There, I winged it. Put that in the trash can. Alright, we've got one ready. Come in with this one and do the same thing. I'm going to lay my ruler down, because this is an inch wide, or maybe just a tad wider than an inch. Come down this way. I'm left-handed, so I have to turn it probably opposite of everybody else. And find out where that part starts. Come all the way down, and voila. We have our two pieces. Now, I'm going to take each one of these, and what I did with a piece of the same chipboard a while back, I cut it out in a, where we go? There we go. In a triangle. I don't know if you can see. And I put a square on it. And all this does is this helps me with my corners. I'm going to lay this on here, and I'm going to move it out just enough to compensate for the width or the depth, the thickness is what I want to say, of that corner, and trim. Trim that whole piece off there. Do the same on this side. I know there are tools out there that will enable you to do this, but to me, they're a little bit on the expensive side. You know, this didn't cost me anything, and it does just as fine. Come in here, get that. I have to keep turning because seeing and doing, it's, especially when you're left-handed, trying to look and see what's going on. You've got the camera right there in your face. It's a little difficult. Come down here and trim. It is that easy. And you're going to find that doing these covers is so easy, and it's fantastic. I love it. So we've got these done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these up with my cutting board. I don't need that for a few more minutes. Just bend that over and sort of get the paper started to be trained the right way. Hold it over. You see when you meet the corners, see how nice that meets. Oh, get it in frame, shell. See how nice that meets. We'll do the same to this one. Over. And see how, oh, where was it? There we go. It's early. Bear with me, please. Do this one. Now, I noticed here the corner pokes out a little bit. When that happens, you want to come in and push the paper into the corner and just pull it down there. That will give you a nice, neat crease on that corner. Pull that down. And see if I can get this up here. Show you. And see how nice that corner turned out. This one doesn't have much of a crease there, so just bend it over and voila. There we go. That's just about ready. Now what I like to do is I will add some tape. If I can find the end. And I'm going to go all the way around this with my tape. Come up to here. Where's my, excuse me for reaching over. Put that piece down there. Come here. And that's going to cover too much of that, so I'll just, well, come on, pull it off. Do the same on this side. Stick that down there. Come up. Take that off. I'm going to go all the way around here with my tape so that we can, when it folds down, that will seal, and then I'll come back in here with glue so that when it folds over, the glue's here and it's not going to ooze out because of the tape. And the tape's going to give it enough time to properly adhere without moving on me. And all the way down there. I'm going to leave those two parts open just to give it some move room. Come down, we'll do the other one here. Oh, back here into frame. It keeps moving on me. I did put washi tape around to make sure that I stay in frame. But we'll see how that works. Come down on this side. Squeeze that in there. But I was saying, my kids decided they wanted to go from their room and move to my old work room, which had a big walk-in closet. Well, for me, it's big. And so, from the time they moved in until they decided to switch rooms, we were using my old work room, which was then became a spare bedroom, then became storage. So everything that we had not gone through yet, because we were combining two households since they moved in, was in that back room. And in that back room was the bin, I totally forgot about it, for my oldest daughter. Okay, these are ready. Now, I want to get out my glue, clear off my place here. So I've got room to work. Shove all that in the trash can. Push that down. And I use a small little bone folder here. I'm going to come in and burnish all this tape down. Because to me it just seems like it holds better when it's burnished down. It's almost like it's getting that final oomph to it here. And I know, tedious, but okay, that part's done. Now, get out my pokey tool, grab my plain clear glue. Definitely needs to be cleaned off. Never needs to be cleaned off until you get on camera. There we go. And let's see, do I want to start? Yeah, I'll start with the sides. We're just going to come in here and remove this tape. It's already pulled. Nope. Didn't get it up right. And on that side, take this one off. And do the same thing over here because I like to do both. Do my sides at the same time. And take those two off. Now, I'm coming here with my glue. And the first place I want to get is that crease. And then just smoosh it around. And I'm going to bend it over, flatten it out. Then come back in here with my card. And voila. We have some oozing of glue down here, which is fine. We simply wipe it off. So that side's done. Come in here. We're going to do our crease. Oh, come on glue, come on out. And then, it may look like I'm putting a lot of glue down, but I'm basically just holding it with just a slight angle up so that it's only a little bit that's actually coming out. Fold that over. Bring out my card. Pull it down and remove whatever comes out. If I didn't smooth it with the card, you'd be able to feel the bumps of glue, the little lines of glue, and I don't like that. So, now for the other side. And once you do these, you do a couple of them, they become so easy to do covers. The more you do, like I said, the easier it is. So now I can put together a basic cover in a lot less time than it takes me to do the album. I did go ahead and decide on some paper for the outside. I've actually got 2 albums to do, but this one here I have to get done first because their anniversary is right around the corner. Fold that over and come in here. Now, because we taped here and here, that glue is really not going to have anywhere to go. So it will probably end up seeping through my paper. Like, see here how this done here? I don't know if you can see the little wrinkles. That's what wet glue does. Now, most of the time they will, go away when it dries. But there are times it doesn't. Oh, I got a wrinkle in my paper there. I can smooth it out. Well, it'll be covered with cardstock. But I'd much rather have a smooth finish than to have to wait for all that under there to dry. But there's one side. That's my base cover. Of course, I'll come in with my cardstock that the cardstock I decided to use, and put a cup, not a cover on it, but put like a mat on it, or a top sheet, or that's where my pattern paper comes in. This just does not want to work with me this morning, even though it has been burnished down. Any other time it would be just fine, but no, we're going to give you problems because you are videotaping this. Come on, there we go. And because I don't want to sit here and deal with the hassle, I'm going to go ahead and remove this one too. If it will come off. For some reason, this tape just is not working for me today. Do y'all ever have that problem? You're fine with something, it works great, and then all of a sudden, it's like it wants to give you a hard time? I don't think I've ever had this much trouble getting all this paper tabs off. Okay, in for our glue. Over there, bend it over. Oh, it didn't want to bend. I'm just going to smooth that out for right now. Then, to the corner. I'll do it this way. And then along here. Oops. It is definitely not my morning. I'm running all over the place. Let's try this other way. There. Now, I'm going to burnish that out because that's going to remove the excess glue from in there, so that I don't have that paper wrinkle effect. Clean up my mess there. And then, end up with a straight. There we go. You see how the wet glue, you can also tell because it discolors, but it'll be fine when it dries. But there's front and there's back. So, very easy. Simply done. Now for the spine. The spine has a different treatment. Let me get all of this off of here. All my little scraps. There. Those are my trash can. To this, I am going to use Tyvek tape. It didn't hold. Remember I said that nothing sticks to the scrapbook.com stuff? Well, I took a sheet, well, some scraps that I had, that were already on the back of some cardstock. Because this Tyvek tape, the edges are sticky, it will stick to anything, and I swear it attracts dust and everything else. See how this just will fit. But I need it to overlap. So, this is so hard to get started. I'm going to pull out. Maybe. Alright, lay down there. Don't go nowhere. Because I need some edging. So, I'll do that. I need some to hang off the end. Because I'm wrapping the book somewhere. And cut the end off. Just like that. Now, I didn't grab the end before I did it. Pull out another piece. And this is definitely not my morning. I should have just come home and gone back to bed, maybe. Alright. Lay that down. And line this up on this side, which I am crooked as all get out. But it's okay, because where we want the Tyvek to be, now before I put this up, I'm going to pull down that edge there. If not, I will never find out where that tape begins. And put it back in my box. So, and I mean, look at that. It moves freely in there. Doesn't stick. Pull my washi tape over, which is probably, lost its stick. I didn't have enough to completely close the top. But that works. And then I don't have it getting stuck to everything. So, we got to here. Now, at this point is where I want to, let me attach my front and back. Because this is what's going to make sure that my cover doesn't fall apart. So, I'm going to find where, make sure this is where my cover's at. And I want to leave a nice little generous area in between so that I have room to open and close the book. Because if you don't leave enough room, it's not going to open and close freely, and you end up with your paper tearing and all, and that's not good either. So it's about 1/8 of an inch. As you can see how easy that falls. So that's going to be good. Now I'm going to leave those up there for a moment until I can come in here and trim a bit closer, because I don't want all of that to get in my way. If I can get it off my fingers. I told you, it's just not my morning. I think if anything could go wrong, it's going to happen this morning. One of those Murphy Law days. There goes that side, there goes that side. Now, I'm just going to fold that over, and then fold that side over. Probably should have trimmed that type off there. Let me see if I can get... I'm not going to worry with it. It will be okay. Pull that over. Pull that over. Now I'm going to come in here with my bone folder. And just that top part where it meets in. See, I didn't get quite as far on that side. But, see, there we go. Now, on this side, I have... I'm going to hang on to that side. I'm going to come back to here. And I'm going to cover the spine back here. Yes, I know you'll be able to see through it, but we'll eventually end up covering that too. And do it this way. Now, in order to adhere this to this, it's going to take Fabri-Tac. Oh, where's my... So, what I'm... Pull this down just a little bit and trim it off to here. I love the grids on this. It gives me an idea of where I'm cutting. And it doesn't have to be exact. Nothing in life is exact. And if you don't have a few little, glitches here and there, little mistakes that only you see, sometimes that's what makes the album special. Is that one little thing that, oops, I didn't see that, or, but it also identifies as our work. Come down on this side, or this one. Trim that off. Yeah, that's my puppy. My little puppy. She heard that somebody has cookies, so she is telling them that I want mine. She's quite verbal. Alright, now for my tie back. Oops. Don't want to take the whole cap off. I had loosened the cap to refill it. I'm going to come in here and just over the tape, put down some that there, and then I want to make sure that this encompasses that tape. Put that down, come back with my card, burnish that down, get the little lines and bubbles and all out, then turn it over and do it again on this side. But I'm going to do this time on the paper. I'll put a little bit in here in the grooves. Make sure that gets done. And then pull that up. Basically, when I'm pulling up and out. And yeah, there's a wrinkle, but see, you got to, I'm also being sticking it down in the groove, so that's going to take a lot of that wrinkle off of there. Now, come up here and do the other side. Let's do it the way we did the sides. Do it that way. Come over. Burnish that all down. Oops. That is off. Oh well. It is what it is. In the long run, I'll also have lace going over that, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now all we have to do is our inside pieces. But what I want is I want to cover this up here. I want a piece to come over here. So I'm going to come in here and grab another sheet of my wonderful paper. Or did I grab two? I grabbed two. No, just one. And I need a piece that will be 4 by 6 3/4. Okay, so grab out my cutting mat again. Turn it around this way. I know it's upside down, but it's the easiest way to cut out a 4 by 6 3/4. Come over here to the 4 mark. Now I do have a paper cutter. Why does that look like is the paper itself not even? Let's try this side. Okay, that's a bit better. Maybe that side isn't even for some reason. My ruler. When I first started crafting and working with paper, I didn't have a paper cutter. This was the way I cut my paper. Line that up and trim it down. There's the 4, and I want to come 6 3/4, which will be to here. Now before I make the final cut, let me make sure that that's going to work. Yep. Oops. No, it's not. We need to go a bit. Aha, because see here? This is where we're off. This starts one down here instead of down there. So, does that mean that that's not going to be wide enough? I'm going to need more. Alright. Let's try this again. I told you it's not my morning, but this is something that we found together. So I'm lining up here because it gives me more of a edge. So instead of 4, I actually want to come over to 5 and trim. Because remember, we found out that inch on the side over there. And we'll trim here. And instead of 6 3/4, see, if we go all the way to the edge, then that measures 1 2 3 4 5 6 3/4. That should be the right way. I think that's it. This should do better. But yeah, I was cutting with scissors and a craft knife. At that time, a box cutter was my craft knife. I'm not worried that it doesn't meet here or here because that area will get covered. So yeah, that's going to work. That tape's just about out. I don't want to run out in the middle. So we'll come in here and go all the way down here. Bring Jack up here and tear him off. Then I'll do this one. I'm going to go all the way around the whole outside of my paper. And here. There we go. As easy as that. Around my edges and take them off. One. See, I forgot to remove that. I told you it is not my day. Definitely is not my day. If it can go wrong today, I think it will end up going wrong. But I am wondering, let me set this, I know the tape's exposed. I am wondering, oops, retract that, if I can get part of this up. We shall see. Because I'm probably not the only one that this has ever done this to. But let's see if we can get this off without it totally destroying our book. It did, it came out. Maybe. All is not lost. Oops. Oh, it tore off down there. I can live with that. Alright, we can't come in that side because that's still got it's where it overlapped. So, we're going to try and come in this way. Lift that up some. Get my scissors under there. And snip it out. I can't see because I don't want to stick my head right in where the camera's at. Hear that. And then, alright, I can live with it coming off here. Pick up this side and see if I can maneuver enough of this out and away. Yes, we did it. We did it. Take my pokey tool and just spread that back out there. Yes. See? Haha! It's good when things don't stick. Come in here with my paper, and I know there's glue already there, but I'm also going to put some on both sides here. And then turn this around and eyeball it as far as getting it centered. And voila. Smooth that down. Come in here with my bone folder. Do my creases as I fold. You notice how it wanted to buckle there, but I'm folding in that crease. There goes one. See, if I don't, see how it buckles? So by coming in here as you fold in, and voila, we have a cover. All done, just that easy. It opens and closes, still needs to dry. But next video we'll put on the mats for the covers, mat for the spine, and we'll even finish off the inside. Don't want to do it yet because this glue is still wet. So we'll cover that next time. If you'd like to continue, and let's see where we go with this, stay tuned to my next video. Have a great day, and go out and have fun crafting. Bye.